Hey, everybody, welcome to day 515 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full time reseller supporting her family. It is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. As for the sales goal yesterday, we did not meet it, but we are still plugging along. Sales are quite sluggish and hoping they're going to pick up soon. But yeah, I know I probably sound like a broken record at this point since October, right? But um, yeah, hopefully I won't for much longer. Hopefully that record will stop skipping. Um, anyway, I am all reset to zero here. I think I have like one thing to ship out this afternoon. So I'm just going to save that so I can batch all the shipping in the morning. It's not really worth me interrupting, what I'm doing to just do one item at this point. So that's where we are. And all right, so what I want to talk about is a personal story tonight, but it does relate to business. It relates kind of to all aspects of our life, and it's about when we get attached to the way things should be or the way things always were, and we're setting expectations. So I recorded an episode. It was probably last year around this time, um divorced holidays, right? I'm divorced and the holidays can be a little tricky with kids, and less so now that my kids are older, but they were always a challenging time. And anyway, I will link that up in the show notes and at the end of this episode, but it sort of ties into what I'm going to talk about. So, holidays can be tricky, and there's always these expectations that are set either by ourselves, and things change. Like every year is not the same. Yeah, we have some traditions we want to keep, but it's not always possible. Sometimes we have to make new ones or adapt. So it was a holiday. I believe it was, I don't know what holiday it was. It was, one of the bigger holidays. And, my parents live next door and my sister lives a couple hours from here. So anyway, everybody always gets together. Let's say it was Thanksgiving. Everybody always got together. And, the whole family, there's six of them, and there were three of us and my parents. And, that's the expectation, right? That we're getting together for Thanksgiving. And, my mom was quite upset, and she said, "Well, only two of them are coming," meaning my sister's family. Only two of them are coming. And it was a little bit of like a chorus for a couple days, and there was, a lot of disappointment, and just like this isn't the way things should be. And at some point I started to think about this, and I thought, you know what, it isn't it's that expectation. And I said, Mom, why don't you just like reframe that and say, um, you know what, two of them are coming, right? Like all of this is taking away from the two that are coming and the wonderful things that are going to happen. And yeah, maybe it's not going to be the same, but we're totally taking away from that, because of the way we think it should be or the way it always was. And forgetting to celebrate what we do have in the moment, or what is coming up. And it just totally, from that point forward, it totally shifted things like in a major way. And it allowed us to, celebrate what was happening, and celebrate that with the family that was here. And it's such a simple distinction, right? Because we can lament the things that aren't, the things that should be the way it should be. And we can get our minds so set on the way things should be that we kind of get stuck in that rut, and we forget to appreciate the things that we do have. And maybe it's somebody else's business. Like I should have a business like that, right? Like I should be selling 100 things a day. I should be, a multiple six-figure reseller. I should be. And, it is every time we do that, and, some of it's comparative, some of it's expectation, we're absolutely ignoring what we are doing and what we do have, and not appreciating it. It totally takes us out of that, the wonderful things that are in front of us. So, I this is not going to be the only episode I am going to talk about this mindset and this shift, because um I think it's critical. I think it's critical. I think especially, a lot of us going into the holidays experience some difficulties and some difficult times, and things change. We got pretty nimble during COVID. Those of us that could adapt, some and maybe you're one of those people that did adapt and accepted the changes and appreciated what you had that was in front of you, or maybe just kind of spiraled and lamented the things that the way it should be, the way our expectations set us up. And next time you find yourself doing that, like, concentrate on, take yourself out of those expectations, take yourself out of the mindset of this is what it should be, or I only, or I just, or I can't believe, and look at what is right in front of you, because it's a game changer. And we'll talk about this again. And think about the things that are going well. What can you concentrate on that's positive? I'm not saying this is easy. This is not easy, right? It's simple, but it is not easy to do, because our brain gets stuck in this loop of expectation and comparison and all of those wonderful things. Not really, right? I'm being sarcastic. Those things aren't so wonderful, those expectations. And, we're kind of, when we do that, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And we don't want to do that in our business. We don't want to do that in our lives. We don't want to do that with anything. We want to really look at what we have and where we are and what's right in front of us, and be able to appreciate that without the lament. All right. I feel very strongly about this topic. So go ahead, pop it in the comments if you've tried this, if you are going to try this, if there's something that is, either in your life, in your business, where you are not, you're worried about the comparison, or you're worried that you should be, carrying that handbag or driving that car, or living in a specific kind of house, or the million things we do to ourselves. All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you on day 516 of Reseller Reflections. Night, night.